Hey guys, Kamina the coach here. May the 18th, May the 18th, 2022. And this past weekend, 10 African-American people were shot in an almost all black area in a black grocery store by a white person, racially motivated. As you can see, my tone is a little more somber. I don't think it's appropriate. This video is about, first of all, my condolences to the family, and I'm calling all my sensitive warriors out there, like any of you that have been affected to the point where you feel crippled, please reach out to me so you can get some help, because you're not alone. For me personally, I need to talk about something that happened to me that really brought it home for me and what I did about it, because I was in a very debilitated state. I'm better. I'm definitely not 100%, as should be expected. But I am better, and I'd like to talk about what happened to me and what I did about it. So, as maybe you know or you don't know, I am very shamanistic. I am cultivating sacred plant medicine, and I belong to a group that cultivates, and it's a very white space, and very few women, honestly. I don't mind. However, this past Monday, I did. You don't mind until you do. So there was another woman of color in the group. There were two. There was an Asian woman and a woman from the Caribbean in the group this day, which is really unusual. We've been meeting almost, how long have I been going to this group? Over 6 months I've been going to this group. I would say maybe October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, 6, 7 months, something like that. So I'm pretty familiar with the people. I felt close to them. I continue to go back to the group because I am very deeply in tune with myself. So I don't really care. I've done videos in the past about why I don't really do support groups, but I still need community. We all need community. If we were meant to be alone, there wouldn't be 8 point how many billion of us here. We need community, especially during times like this. So I attended my meeting, as I always do. We had a star in our community, in our cultivation community visit, which was super cool. Really enjoying the vibe. I always do. And, you know, getting to ask a superstar in the community cultivation questions, any cultivator's dream. It was amazing, and somehow attached to his name, somebody managed to get into the group. A troll managed to get into the group through his profile. And I'm not going to speculate. I'm just stating the facts. Speculate what happened. So yes, so we had a troll come through and started posting racially derogatory comments in the comment section of the Zoom. And one person said, "Looks like you have a troll in the group." And then there was not really anything else said, really. We kind of just continued on. They said it, They kind of talked about it a little bit, but like we just continued on, and the person kept typing stuff in the chat. They came on mic and said some really ugly racial stuff, and I pay attention to where my emotions hit me in my body, and it hit me in the same place in my body the same way that it does when I have an experience that makes me feel like I might die, like if a car almost sideswipes me or if I fall or something. It hit me like death. And that's saying a lot, because occasionally I can get in an argument with a person and not feel that feeling. So, and honestly, I can't even really say that I've ever experienced anything like that before. I've experienced a lot of microaggressions, but I don't think I've ever experienced anything so blatantly aggressive like that. Eventually this person threw porn up on our shared screen, so the organizer of the group disconnected the group, and then let us back in one by one, and we actually ended up losing about 10 people. So again, no speculation on how this person got in, whatever. When we came back into the room, the organizer said, "Kamina, you look shell-shocked." I'm like, yeah, well, the shooting in New York this weekend really blew me away, and I'm struggling right now. And the organizer kind of joked and was like, "Oh, do we need we need to stop the meeting and do an integration circle right now?" But for me, I did kind of need that. I did need to have somebody acknowledge potentially the pain that caused me. And instead, our guest spent quite a bit of time explaining it away. How it happened and why it's happening, but not like kind of dismissing it and like, oh, they just want to get a rile out of people, so we should just ignore it and pretend like it didn't happen. But the thing is, the person's gone, but the damage is done, and now suddenly I don't feel safe in my only group space. And I had a very difficult time sleeping. I was very unhappy yesterday. I work at a place where I am the only, besides the cleaner, the only person of color and the only black person for sure. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. And I had a really rough day yesterday at work, and I'm so thankful for Clubhouse. Universe intervened for me. Listen to your inner intuition and ask God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, for help when you need it, because I was in a horrible space and I paid attention. I normally read, and I couldn't read. I couldn't focus on anything. I mean, I did work, and when I got to a place where, I was kind of done with work, there's kind of nothing else for me to do, I usually read, and I couldn't. So I'm scrolling through Clubhouse, and I found a room where they're allowing people to just talk about how they're feeling, and it was really comforting to be with other black people who are feeling the same kind of sadness and despair that I was feeling, to be able to share why at that moment I was feeling so isolated and alone. It was so powerful, so powerful. And I was so thankful for it, and we spent some time saying their names and going through their lives and remembering them. 10 people were slain leaving behind hundreds of family and friends to suffer in the wake, in addition to an entire community. Yeah, it was a lot. So after that meeting on Clubhouse, I still had an hour left at work, and I had to go cry. I'm so thankful to have somebody at work that I could cry to, who held me and just let me cry. And we talked, a very sensitive soul who just really understood that I was hurting. She doesn't understand. She's not a person of color. She doesn't understand, but she did understand my pain, and she gave me a container to express my pain. And I'm thankful for that. I was still not well. And when we got done talking, it was time to leave. And I got a text. I came back to my desk to a text from some random number about a hike last night. And I was like, I said, who's this? And it ended up being a brother from a Black People Hike group here in Phoenix. So I was like, done. It was an hour and a half once I got off. I drove home, changed clothes, and met him at the mountain. It was a 2-hour hike, and I don't have hiking shoes. So weekend before last, I did a waterfall, and I did that in water shoes, and I really paid for that. Today I'm also hurting in the feet quite a bit because I didn't have the right shoes on. I just had some really flat, non-protective shoes on. But I went because I know the facts. I have tools in my toolbox. Emotions are energy, and they need to run their course to pass through their body. And if you hold on to emotion and keep it in your body, that is when you get disease. I knew that I had to find a constructive way to get that emotion out of my body. Righteous indignation, you're right to be angry, but you can't just sit on that anger. You have to do something with it. If you're creative, you need to create. If you are a sporty person, get out and sport. Go running, go hit a bag. I really needed that time, that physical. And not only did I need time to get that physical energy, here's the caveat, and this is coming from an introvert, please remember that. You need community when you are in a state of grief. You need people. And I'm wildly introverted. I do not like strangers, and I'm so thankful for that time last night. We didn't talk about what had happened. I was with 2 brothers, and we didn't talk about what happened, but the community was still appreciated nonetheless. And I made a new acquaintance, which was awesome. Very nice guy. So I'm just thankful for having removed enough trauma so that I'm able to hear the universe when it speaks to me. I'm able to hear that intuition, and it's something that I wish for all of you, especially you emotionally hurt, highly sensitive people. I really wish this for you because it's so empowering. It is so empowering to be able to hear the universe speak to you and understand that it is for you. You know, the odds of you being here are like 1,000,000,000 to 1. Your birth was a miracle. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. Highly sensitive people are only 15% of the population. You are even bigger miracle. Highly sensitive, very, very spiritually in tune people, please reach out to me. Let me help. This is all I have today. If you're hurting, don't sit on that pain. Make that pain work for you. Get that emotion out of your body. Find you a community. It's so important. Until next time, this is Kamina the Coach. sending all of my love, light, peace, and joy to all of the suffering families and friends of those slain, to all of you suffering and hurting as a result of racism and prejudice and hate, and to the world in general. Until next time, love, light, peace, and joy to all of you. Kamina the Coach, I'm out.